cat. My name is Jose Castillo, and I'm only doing that out of respect to my mother and the family. I am as anonymous as your opinions. We're all variations of one another. And I never know how to get carried away with the persona that I adopted or the attention I immediately get. If you could be dropped off in any place on earth and you could still be consistently you in this situation, you haven't learned anything. You're always an ongoing assessment. But John Doe Society is who I feel in my core.
Mommy, I'm really, really sorry, but I really had to do this.
I'm Linda Abar. I go by Linda Listen, but I also go by Abar. Abar talks, Linda listens. My brown side is coming out, and Vero don't like my brown side. For some reason, she says I be doing too much with my hands, but it's just like, I can't control that, because I'm from the Bronx, and I'm Dominican, and it's just like, dime a ver, ¿qué tú quieres hacer?
Hi, my name is Juan Jose Alvarez. I'm Dominican. I help my family run 2 bodegas. Very Latino, typical, you know, but it's been an experience being there for my family and learning what it is to be a hard-working person. I think that's one of the best things that I'm so grateful. Hey, what is Juan doing? Juan's working.
Salute. Now my name is Gabe, and I'm a lumberjack, and that's what I do. You know, maybe it's not what I do; it's what I am. I'm a lumberjack.
I go by Crystal though, totally Crystal. If you could pronounce it. Phonetically, it's like Chris E-L-L-E, just so people can get it. But Crystal. I'm Dominican. From the great island that was once called Hispaniola. It has now been divided between Dominican Republic and Haiti. It's quite incredible history, y'all. But you know, educate yourselves.
How's it going, guys? My name is Stanley Salazar, known as City Chef. I don't stop. I don't know what taking a day off is. You know, there's always an opportunity to do more, to change lives and feed people, you know. Cooking is very important, you know. You have to eat and eat well and eat good, you know, and that's my whole philosophy.
It's like important to actually listen, because you don't want to presume all sorts of things about people. The issue is presumption. And there's a lot of presumption that goes on in this culture, and this presumption that goes on with Jewish people. And like, we're being fed a litany of lies. You walk around these streets and you're kind of like, what the fuck is going on? You definitely see all sorts of characters. This right here, this building, this white building, used to be a club called Brownies that I had so many formative experiences playing shows here. It's been washed over. It's literally whitewashed at this point.
From Queensbridge, and everything changed. We have a huge district of high-rise condos all over us. I never expected that shit. It used to be abandoned warehouses and sex trafficking, pimps, and sex work. And it was never the high-rise condo community. So it was really interesting to go back, and I'm like, fuck. I just want to be like, this is great. I want to encourage, but it changed.
I came to New York mostly to be there for him. He was going through some really hard times. He's a street artist. He draws hearts. He makes paintings. He's a really sweet person. He's gone through some serious ups and downs in his life, and he was at a place where he wasn't able to vibe with the changing culture of New York City. Like, he has a lot of attachments to the past.
I was raised in these parts. I come by these parts. 125th, West Side. For me, it's like one of the last residential blocks. 125th is really commercialized. There's a church and it stops. It's just commercial. And it goes on. In Harlem, I think it's like one of the greatest cities in the world. There's so many amazing cities in the world, but there's something about Harlem that's here. I love being here. Like, I feel called to be here. And I also need to find ways to spread that Harlem love elsewhere. And I love Harlem to death, but I'm at the point in my life where I can realize that there's so much more beyond what's here. And oftentimes our culture uses it as barriers to stay close, and it's hard for us to break away. There's life elsewhere, and I don't know how often we expand ourselves to feel that. I love Harlem in the same way that I'm pained for Harlem. That's why I stay.
Obviously, I feel very lucky that I have all this space, but I just didn't, I wasn't gonna come back, just being back in America would be the smart decision. You don't want to get stuck in Thailand or some shit, because then you're paying for a hotel, or you don't even know what the fuck you're gonna be staying at. I thought this was gonna blow over, I was gonna come back, and it's snowing. So those are the reasons I came back, but I did not expect to be here for this long. I'm also trying to have as many people come up from the city, because I know everyone's stuck in an apartment, and so I want to share the space with as many people as I can so they don't go crazy in their apartments. If shit hits the fan, I like to be able to and have my own space to go to so I can get away from whatever the fuck is going down.
When you're ready to go, you go. Activist, yes, per se. What am I activated in? My people. I think it's a generalized term at this point. And that's part of my activism. People can be activated. We often leave the work of activism to few said activists as opposed to all being activated. It's easy to be like, but so-and-so is supposed to do, that's why I voted. And it's like, you could do it too. You can step up to the forefront and be active in your activism.
Fasting in silence. You know what's interesting? I literally wrote it in 3 days. For those 3 days, I did not speak. It taught me a lot about my faith. So that's the first thing that I started with in the book. I went to Catholic school, I was an altar server. And I left Catholicism and I became a non-denominational Christian, and I started reading the Bible, and that took 6 years to finish. All 66 books. I fell off of my relationship with God. Like, I don't want to follow the church and their practices. The only person I ever ran to was God. I speak about how journaling really helps you reflect on your own life. Technology has really taken us away from our natural, organic flesh and self. We try to put all our memories in our phone. We don't try to place them on letters. We don't try to place them on journals.
When we're in the city, it's a completely different relationship. You know, we don't really get to have real conversations. You know, we get to get down into shit that you actually kind of want to talk about. So I think this is a good space to, you know, just give you a good place to have real conversations and build a friendship that actually means some shit. You build real friendships by going through hardships. We slept in fucking 21 degrees last night, you know what I'm saying? Woke up, could see your breath, you know? Hurricane, yeah, on the beach, yo, trying to set up a tent on a beach while it's fucking blowing like 40-mile-per-hour winds.
If we don't become more mindful of being self-aware in the earth that we live in, we're gonna destroy our own selves. And we're already like 10 steps ahead of that.
No going back there. It would be stupid to do so. You have to come out of this evolved and more aware of everything and how everything's interconnected. How the treatment of the planet, how we treat each other, new ideas, bright ideas, beautiful things, you know? Which is hard to execute because, you know, inequality.
Yeah. It is educational. It's founded upon knowledge and like citizenship, right? Like being interested in being a civilian actively. But you have people around you that are balancing like so many things in a day. Like how do you expect for them to, let alone the time or energy?
When you're somebody who's conscious about inequality, naturally, you're always thinking about these things. But I think the pandemic has really, really highlighted that. Inequality, racism, lack of proper health and hygiene.
Lack of wanting to reduce or change the way you live and eat in your own environment. And forgiving ourselves for being ignorant. And that's really sad. I feel like we're so ignorant, like we'll learn something and then we'll realize that we were once foolish, and now that we're wise, we don't pass that awareness on to others so that we can coexist, get along, and work on the issues that we have surrounding us. And we become so selfish. We forget about our purpose.
We live on such a beautiful planet, you know. It's hard to be, I don't know, it's hard to have perspective about like the benefits you have in life, right? 2 arms, you got 2 legs, you got a functional body, and it's important, and it gives you the ability to do so many things. Don't fucking do bullshit for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Don't, you know, sideline any type of happiness you fucking have to do the bullshit. You know, when you wake up in the morning, like, it's up to you to decide, are you gonna get out of bed with a smile on your face? Or are you gonna get up and just be mad about the fucking world?
Graduate work in the history of the Mayans, but there's no money in it. So then I got 2 MBAs, one in finance and one in international business. I'm 76. I broke my leg in 3 places and I made the 5 guys, the surgeons up at Yale. I said, listen, I play full court basketball. I want to know that I'm going to be good to go.
This is my first journal. And I was 11 years old when I bought this. And I called it Beautiful. This is my beautiful. It's kind of like me talking to myself. I was told that if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. But then I'm like, how do you reason with yourself then? But I was just confused. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I'm a type of person that when I start something, I have to finish it. And I ended up finishing it. And now it tells a story of
20 years. It's a very interesting one. I almost died so many times. It's like you were like playing Super Mario. And that moment when you jump, it's like you don't want to fall because then you don't have enough lives. Like it's like. But no, you know what? I just love being happy because happiness is a choice.
So this synagogue here is right across the street from a room in this building that I found my brother. And I found him in a room, like he was basically sleeping on the street. He was going through some serious hard times. He was in and out of psych wards. And nobody in my family could really understand him. Just follow the hearts on the street. Like, you can see him, you know where he hangs out, just follow the hearts. He was too much of a risk. He was too much of a liability. I did whatever I could to get him in a room. He needs a place where he can sober up and stabilize and deal with his family issues that I know all too well. The issue in our family is that people have a hard time showing gratitude. And everybody has to work hard to make it themselves. And family's got to work together. That's the way I look at this sort of thing.
At what point do you realize that I'm gonna be okay? I feel like my parents and my sister, they don't trust me. I get it if you feel some type of way, if you feel some type of anxiety about something that you may be in fear of doing, but I'm not in fear of doing. You should never worry or have an opinion on somebody else's fears if you're not in control of your own. Like, I get it, a mother's always going to worry, and my mother's always going to worry, but it's just like, I need to reduce your worry. But how do you control that? It's hard, it's complicated. I hate learning stuff that I feel like I should have not learned, like especially feelings.
You know, I come from a very strong Latino cultural background, and not just that, even just a New York attitude. I understood the pressures and the definitions of what it means to be macho.
In terms of myself, I think the last 5 years, I think I've been exploring the inner child. Why am I the way that I am? And how am I perceived and how do I treat the other people around me? You know, realizing how much I missed having a strong bond with parents. You know, because I'm still grateful for the love that I receive and being nourished and all the things parents do for kids. Affection and physical embrace when I was a kid. Didn't get a lot of that, you know.
I was gonna say everything happens for a reason, and I very much am fond of saying that in its simplicity. Yeah, it's so simple. Everything happens for a reason, but we complicate that. Like, if you say that, you can kind of sound like insensitive. It could all be so simple. You'd rather make it hard.
I can't box people in. It feels cheap for me to box people in to influence me, to be like, oh, they were part of the queer community. They were part of that. I literally was just inspired and fueled by people of different worlds. But we're all New Yorkers, and that's why we're the gateway of the world, because everybody's here.
It's true, once I've acknowledged in a way how I was an artist, I felt more inclined to do artistic things. I like the term artivist, which is a really dramatic play on artist and activist, but it's super cool. It would be hard to get people to ride that wave of understanding just because, like, it's, I don't know, people like simple things.
I started seeing masculinity becoming these weird, like definitions everywhere I go as a man. Then I started noticing people who went through school also have those role play of what it means to be a woman as well. So I didn't understand this whole gender identity shit. I just always came from a genuine place of like, what makes you feel good when you hear a song? What makes you feel inspired when you see a film? What makes you feel fulfilled when you read a book?
We are all grappling with being present. And being present, it's so important right now. Empathy, compassion, and understanding that we're all going through this shit together.
I be feeling like the king of my city, and every nigga with me wearing a mirror.
I see how this could be something good, what's happening with the riots and people fighting for their rights. They fed up, you know, they tired, it's wartime.
Shot like power, nigga. Hit him twice, make sure you don't miss it. Them bullets in his pistol look like a missile.
I'm living through history. Like, this is history what's happening now.
Now, people were like, listen, we need to congregate. And so look what happened in a week. It's just really good. And this is the most comforting thing. Yeah, we need it.
I'm not trying to hammer people because like it's been cooped up forever. I definitely get fired. I'm a little bit under the microscope right now.
Look at this. That's sick. Life is good, man. Life is good. Life is good. I left to Canada knowing what was going on. To me, like this whole coronavirus, some shit happening in China, you know. But I just wasn't taking it serious. You know? As soon as I got back, I felt it, man. I felt it that same night. Like I felt it. I was like, damn. I got my results 3 weeks after that. I tested positive for COVID-19, man. And when I got that call, that was like the worst. It was just the worst, man. I got depressed, and I just literally canceled everything, man. Fuck, I'm never gonna be able to cook again, and it was a very dark time of my life.
I can't save anybody. I can only save myself. You can only control what's within your control. I know because I went through it. Like I had to go through that phase where it's just like you gotta keep pushing until you like start seeing the work benefits out of your work.
This COVID-19 thing is not gonna stop me. Obviously got tested again. I got my results back. They were negative. And then that's when I started interacting with people.
I'm just really excited that, you know, like regardless if my message gets out to 100 people or 1,000.
It was one Saturday morning, man. I got up and I announced I was gonna go live on Sunday. From that day, it just motivated me to like continue doing what I was doing before, you know. And then I got a call from the owners from Elite. They were gonna reopen. You know, I was like, damn, like, let's do this, man. I was still kind of scared about the whole situation. I started with a team of 2 people. I was cooking for doctors and hospitals. It's the least I could do, you know. I'm a survivor of this.
I look at it like this. I have 6,000 followers on Instagram. 6,000 may not be anything, but guess what? Jesus fed 5,000. If your message is meant to be heard, it will be heard, regardless if it's now or when you die.
I think there's 2 parts to, you know, just being a happy person. It's doing something you love doing, but also having, you know, relationships with people that, you know, you don't have to see them fucking every day. You don't have to see them every week. You don't have to see them every year. But if you love somebody, you know, you don't need to talk to them all the time.
What I feel is como a luxury when I think of what my mom was doing at my age. I think I have some legacy work to uphold though, and then I could bounce. I did my dues. Thanks. It's been real. God bless y'all.
I'm not saying I'm the best surfer in the world, but I'll let you infer. Even if I don't start teaching immediately, I need to continue surfing because I want to get better and better. And so that's the other thing. I just like, I want to fucking surf.
I know my view. I know it could be anecdotal or it could be absolute truth, but I am also someone that doesn't believe in absolute truths. There's no such thing as a fucking absolute truth.
Taking this beautiful day and just, showing you guys what I do on the regular. This is what I do. And it's great. I love it. I love every second of it.
Come with me over the hills. Come to the place with no hills to be over. God made a face, she put wood and stone. In the land of lost blues, it's a watery road. Mine was a fair waxing tune. You're a little misfortune moon. Oh, the gods have no